Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Tonight I'm just gonna try to show you guys how I edit photos, my thought process, my workflow, and all that when it comes to editing photos. Nothing really too major. Yeah. So this is a release series FRS that I shot with Ross the other day, and I'm trying to finish out a set. So I might as well make a video out of it, try to show you guys my thought process, how I work, and my flow, stuff like that. Yada yada yada. First things off, what I'll really do is I try to take away distractions. So what distractions to me are just like stuff that takes away from your eye from the photo, the main subject, which is the car, obviously. So first thing I see is this right here, paint scratches on the bumper. We can fix that easily with the clone stamp tool or spot removal tool. And then the power lines. The power lines, I don't think will, if we delete them or remove them, it'll look pretty good from the photo. So that's what I'm gonna do first. There's many ways you can do it, but normally I just find the easiest way is to either get the clone stamp tool and hit Alt and then click, and just basically stamping around what's around the place where you want to delete the distraction. So that's what I'm doing. Just basically replacing the power lines with fake trees and all that. So don't forget, one tip I do recommend is if you ever use the clone stamp tool is to start clone stamping from a random spot, just so everything doesn't look uniform and all like the trees don't look all together, because it could look weird after we finish editing and you pull away. So let's by pulling away I meant like zooming out, just making sure it doesn't look too modified in a way, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just do this real quick. Control Z. It's very tedious, but in the long run, if you really want to get a good photo, I definitely recommend doing this process, just so you have uniformity, if that's a word. But yeah. So just trying to remove that real quick. I'm doing a really poor job of it, but oh well. Alright. And we still got this power line right here. So what we're probably gonna do is start with the sky and just get rid of the power lines, the lines. And start putting some trees in here. There we go. But yeah, it just depends. Normally, by preference, I don't really do it most often, but I try to, just because I want a good looking photo. I don't want like any distractions, so might as well take the time out and just go ahead and replace all that. Almost done. Cool. And we still have the lines, as you can see in the photo. So what I'm going to do is zoom back in, and let's just start taking out the power lines. So it's going to be a long process. I'm probably gonna what am I gonna do? Sorry, it's really hard for me to talk and then edit at the same time, but is this even looking good? I guess. One other way you can do it is the spot healing brush. It literally takes what's around it and just basically heals the photo. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If you get lucky, it works, but as you can see with the flaring and all that, that's why I just use the clone stamp tool, just because it's a lot easier. But if you want to do a faster way, definitely the spot healing brush definitely works out a lot. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Take out the lines. You can see them still. But yeah. So we got some more over here. Let's go ahead and take this out. Alright, not looking so good, but alright, it'll have to do just for the video. But yeah, next thing I wanted to focus on is, like I said, the paint chips on the bumper. There's multiples that you can do it. I'm probably just gonna use the clone stamp tool or the spot healing brush. Just delete that. Might as well delete this too, or remove. Take away that paint chip. Oops. Alright, maybe that's when you want to use the spot healing brush. zoom in a little bit more. Trying to get it from that area, so there you go. Change my brush size a little bit smaller. Okay, we're probably gonna have to get the darker side of the paint. There we go. Can you tell? Let's see. Yeah, you can. Okay. We're probably gonna get the deeper yellow right there. Alright. There you go. Like nothing ever happened. Right there. Okay, let's see. Not too bad. You can't really tell. I'll probably have to touch that up later, but just for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna go by pretty quick. I don't want to bore you guys. Change my brush size again for my spot removal tool, and just, yeah, we'll just go from there. Not too bad, not too bad. Get rid of this too, just in case. Yeah, my brush size is gonna be a little bit too big. Let me just get smaller. Cool. Alright, zoom out. Is there anything else we need to get rid of? Zoomed out, you can't really see any imperfections with the car, but when you zoomed in, you can see how dirty the car is. Just because it's my OCD, I'm just going to go ahead and just removing all that, the paint stuff, just so you don't really see it in the photo, but I doubt you can, but just in case, you can never be too sure. Cool. Yeah. Next thing I do is not really, I guess not, if some people call it editing, some people don't call it editing. I just pretty much look at a lookup table, and what that is pretty much presets. I made some lookup tables, some presets. I think this one specifically is going to work good for the car. Let's find out. Let's see. I think it was this one. And what I do after this is I basically duplicate the layer and just look up different lookup tables. Lookup colors I think will work well. And I just choose the best out of the 4 or 5 that I choose. So let's see. Let's try Superior, never fails me. And one major thing that I recommend when also editing on different colored cars, like for example yellow, oranges, reds, and all that, try your best to not change the color of the original car, just because I think it's kind of tacky when everybody's editing and you're changing the color of the car completely. You know, I think it's really a disservice to the people especially the person you shoot. I'm pretty sure, I mean, he has a yellow car. I wouldn't want to change up the yellow car. So let's see. What is this? Copy. Cool. Let's try to find another one. Maybe Kodak Elite. Let's see. Maybe this one. I don't know. Can't really think of a good lookup table for this one. I might just end up using this and just maybe brighten up the color a little bit. We will see. Let's see. Let's do one more. Duplicate layer. Yes. Cool. And Kodak Elite. Kodak Gen 6. I'm still trying to figure out a way to, no, does that make the yellow too bright? Let's see. What's the background? I guess I could darken the car a little bit, but don't really know if I want to do that, just because I don't really know how. I'm not really liking the way it's working with the car. Cool. So we're just gonna go ahead and delete that. So far right now, it's looking like the first and second layer. That one, yeah, I'm not really feeling that one, so. They're sort of kind of the same. I just don't know which one I like better. And honestly, this is probably for me, this is probably what takes the most time, just trying to figure out which one I like more. But I think they both look the same, so I'm just going to go ahead and just use one. So that one we can just delete. Never mind. I will delete that later. Fuck it. Cool. Yeah, oh well, that'll have to do. Cool. So yeah, we finally got our lookup table. Next thing I like to do is I like to use the burn tool. And if you guys haven't used Photoshop before, burn tool basically just creates a darker layer on top of whatever you're burning. So for example, look at the headlights. It's kind of light. If you darken it, it brings out details and stuff like that. So that's what I normally what I do with the cars. But first thing I like to do is I like to maybe darken the road, just because I like to have a dark road just so it brings your eyes or attracts your eyes to the cars a lot more than having like a very bright foreground. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna burn the road real quick, make the road a little bit darker. Oh no, we don't want that. Maybe one more layer of burn. Yeah, that's looking good. So like I said earlier about the eliminating distractions, I also think that a very like bright foreground is also a distraction. It takes away from the car. So immediately, because the car is yellow, if you're looking at a black dark background, obviously your eyes attract to the car. Next thing I want to do is I shot with a polarizer, so the sky was blue, but it's to focus on the window or to polarize the window, it changed the color of the sky to white. And I don't really like white, so I'm going to try to use the burn tool and just darken the sky a little bit. And you can see it's bringing out a little bit more color than it was before. So I think that's pretty cool to have a little gradient of like white to blue. I think it also complements, getting a little fake sky in there. So go ahead and do that. One thing I do hate though is if you guys zoom in close over here, you can start to see like the blue coming from the trees. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to delete that real quick. So I'm probably going to get the clone stamp tool and just delete that real quick. Yeah, you can't really tell. Oh well. Yeah, no, you can. Cool. Whatever. I'll just leave that there for right now, and I'll just desaturate it a little bit. Cool. So instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the sponge tool and just go over it and just hit it with the sponge tool a little bit. And what the sponge tool does is just basically is like a sponge. It soaks up color. Cool. So far, yeah, not too bad. Next thing I want to do is probably this windshield. I think it's a little bit too blue, and I think if I take out the sponge, it's going to be too dark and it's going to look like it's artificial. So what I'm going to do is probably get the burn tool and just darken, like I said before, darken the window a little bit just so the blue doesn't really fight with the yellow. Let's see how that looks. Not too bad. Let's see. Yeah, not too bad. So we're gonna go back to the burn tool. Maybe one more layer of burn will do the car justice. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's gonna look fine. And then one thing I also want to focus on is, since I burnt the windshield, let's go ahead and bring back color for the TRD. So instead of burn, we're just going to bring out the dodge tool, which brightens areas or lightens up areas. So just get my brush size to fit the letters and just basically brighten up the TRD again. And you can see it's brightening up the letters, and that's all I really want, just for it to stand out a little bit more. Let's maybe do one more layer. Not blur, dodge. Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Then might as well do the little TRD sign. Maybe one more layer. And like I said, I mean, it's a little details. I'm pretty sure most people won't see on the car, but if I'm like shooting a car, I might as well just try to bring extra detail in and just make sure it's done right the first time rather than having to go back and doing it. I think this layer of dodge tool is a little bit too bright for the red. Let's see. I think we'll be okay. Cool. All right. So far, I want to say the car is almost like 95, not 95, maybe like 80% done. Next thing I want to do is details in the headlights, because the TRDs get the special like JDM headlights. What I want to do is I'm probably going to get my sponge tool. Like I said earlier, it basically pulls colors away. And let's see, bring colors, and let's darken this a little bit. Let's see how that looks. I'm not too sure if I like that or not. I kind of want it to blue and maybe darken the blue, but I don't know if that looks... In my opinion, I'm not too sure if that looks good or not. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's actually not too bad. We'll keep the blue for right now. What I do want to do, though, is maybe the wheels. Get the sponge tool and take away the color from the wheels. Just because you can see it, and let's darken the wheels a little bit. There we go. Cool. Same thing for the rear wheels. Sponge tool, soak up all that color. Burn tool, darken up the wheels. Cool. Yeah, I think this photo's done. I can't really think of anything else to do other than maybe blurring out the background a little bit, since I'm poor and I can't afford a 35 art lens. Also, I shoot with a Sony. I can't afford the 35 art lens. It's still blurry, but I would like to be a little bit more blurry. So I like to add a little bit of fake lens blur to the back. So just blurring my background a little bit. All these photographers are probably gonna hate me, but oh well. You can only do what you have. So yeah, blur tool, blur a little bit, and blur out the background a little bit. That's fine. That should be good. And yeah, so this is what the car looked like before, raw, unedited. What distractions removed and all that. After I added lookup table and just minor adjustments, that's how the car is. So yeah, normally this is how I edit my photos. It doesn't really take too long, but I mean, everybody has their own way of method, so I might as well show you guys how I do mine. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys, and maybe if you guys like this, I might do it a little bit more. So we'll see. All right, I'll see you guys.